Well, hello, everybody. Chaplain David Outing here with a word for you on this wonderful Wednesday. Hey, I want to talk to you about, in these next few videos that I'm going to send out, it's about the parables of Jesus. And you know, a parable is a earthly story with a heavenly meaning, right? Where the Lord uses earthly language, earthly metaphors, earthly examples to make an eternal point or to make a kingdom point or a heavenly point. So I want to talk to you from these words. Don't let your past have a greater microphone in your heart and mind than your present and your future. Let me say that again. Don't let your past have a greater microphone in your heart than what's in front of you and your future. Let what's in front of you and your future speak louder. All right. So here's the story. Jesus said, no one takes cloth off a new coat to cover a hole in an old coat. If he does, he ruins the new coat, and the cloth from the new coat will not be the same as the old cloth. People never pour new wine into old leather bags for holding wine. If they do, the new wine will break the bags and the wine will spill out. Then the leather bags for holding wine will be ruined. So here it is, everybody. The message from Jesus is that the new covenant, also known as the New Testament or New Covenant, message of the kingdom, it requires a new heart, a new mindset, new attitudes, not the old way from the religious people of that day where they tried to do works and tried to merit their way into heaven, trying to be righteous by doing good works. And you can't do it. We're not good enough. We can't do anything good enough to merit that. And so in this story, the new wine and the new cloth symbolizes a focus on the two main laws that we are to focus on: loving God with our whole heart and loving our neighbor as ourselves, right? So here it is. When a person wants to create a better version of themselves, it requires distancing themselves from the past and embracing the new. The old way required, in this culture, an adherence or obedience to 613 laws. But the new way requires only two. Which one would you rather have? Trying to follow 613 laws and do it perfectly, which no one was able to do except for Christ. Or focus on two: love God, love your neighbor. And when you do these two and do it right and do it well, that's what satisfies the entire law, and that's what satisfies God. So here it is. Again, don't let your past have a greater microphone in your heart and your mind than your present and your future. Watch this. Those of you who drive, we drive our cars by looking forward through the windshield and not by staring at the rearview mirror. Imagine trying to go forward, but always looking in the mirror what's behind you. Eventually, you could crash as you're moving forward. So the goal is to focus on where you're going, but only use the rearview mirror to see where you've been, learn from it, or just get information so that can help you in your present. But you don't stare at it. You don't let the rearview mirror have a greater focus in your mind and in your heart than the windshield. So here it is. Don't let negative words spoken to you by a parent, a teacher, a sibling, or a significant other define you. Define the new you. Don't mix old versions of you with the new version, right? If you're trying to create a better version of yourself, you have to distance yourself from that old man, that old woman, that old person that had those crazy ways. But when you are coming into the newness of life and coming into a better and a newer version of yourself, you have to distance yourself and keep the old you in the past. If you do, If you don't do that, rather, or if you bring the old into the new, you will sabotage the new you and you will sabotage your future. A new you requires a new heart, but don't let the old you hitch a ride on the new you. Hey, that's my message for you today, right? There's greater for you. There's better for you. I believe the best is yet to come for each one of you. I believe God has something great in store for each of you, but you have to want what he wants from you. And one of the best ways that you can do that is to commit your way, commit your heart to the Lord, and allow the newness of life that comes with that eclipse the oldness of life from the past, because the new you needs to be a better version than the old you. Don't let your past have a greater microphone in your heart than your present and your future. God bless you. Word from the chaplain.